Start. Welcome back, everybody, to the Even Your Dynasty show.
We just got breaking news in.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Even Your Dynasty show. We are at day number 1 of the Tony Vitello era. Officially had his press conference today, and it's underway. How you guys doing today?
It's a good day, man. You know, Tony Vitello day 1. Ricky's got the new setup. We got some big news today, man. It's a great day.
Yes, sir. But
looking forward to getting it started. Be nice to get a fresh face in there, some new young energy in there, competitive spirit. Really looking forward to it, and it was definitely even more exciting after hearing some of the things he had to say.
Yeah. For any of you that did not that were not there during the YouTube live stream, Dan was cracking some jokes in the middle. I threw a few in there as well, but Dan hit everybody with when they were running late today for the presser. Dan had to throw out there, did Tony Vitello fail his physical?
Dude, I'm surprised you guys knew that was me, because it doesn't say Caveman Dan or anything. It just says Dan, and immediately everyone knew it was me. I was like, damn.
Oh, I knew instantly. I just saw Dan, and I was like, "Yep."
You're like, this freaking guy.
That was funny.
You said hi, 49er Media? My bad.
Hey, sorry, man. I saw it, and by the time I was going to reply, like, so many messages spammed it. I was like, well, that took a while. But, but yeah, we're going to just kind of dive right in. A lot of good stuff from that interview. I think we're going to all give kind of our takeaways. I think the first big one for me, and it wasn't anything specific that he said in the interview, but just you could really tell that he's just really authentic. He's super just honest, almost to a fault. Like, some of his answers are just not things you would expect somebody in his position to actually say right up front. He like openly goes, I don't really have a lot of tools that I think I necessarily bring. And I'm thinking, okay, you're probably selling yourself short, but still, like, just super humble guy, very self-aware. I thought his answer on what was, kind of a low blow question from Brian Murphy, if I'm being honest, but them bringing up the whole, like, if you haven't ridden the bus, you can't go to the majors, and the lack of respect that guys might have for that. And he's like, dude, I've coached for 24 years. I've been like on the road for all this. Like, I've paid my dues, just in a different path. But just like very self-aware of like the elephant in the room. He knew kind of what was probably going to be coming with a lot of these questions, but I thought he handled it really well. You could tell just listening to him why guys love this guy. I think he's going to have a ton of respect in that locker room, just with his honesty and everything with everybody. So that was kind of the big main one for me. So what'd you guys think?
No, yeah. Like you mentioned, I think the biggest takeaway was just the fact of how upfront he was about everything. Like, he just kept it 100 straight up with every answer that he had. And he was just coming from a sincere place of, pure genuineness. And basically, he said what all of us want to hear. He's like, I'm here to work hard, and I'm here to win. And I think that's, even though it sounds simple, it goes a long way, because he's just all in 100%. And I think he, Menaisen, and Posey, they have a plan in place, and they're ready to take this thing head on. And I'm just excited to see where it goes. I think they got something special in the works, and everyone's been raving about how promising Vitello is as a coach throughout college and as he enters the big leagues. And I'm just excited to see where it goes, man. his personality was on display today. It's definitely not no Sleepy Bob personality. It's definitely a breath of fresh air, and I think we're all happy to see it.
Yeah, I think that the two things that come to mind for me with Vitello is authenticity, and he's very thorough in everything he talks about. It's not just short, generic answers that are being, fed to him to give out to the media to, kind of cover himself. And just he seems, like you guys said, authentic, genuine, those kind of things. And I really think that comes from his recruiting background, because younger guys, when you're trying to bring them into a big time college like that, but in a program that you're trying to build back up, these guys they're gonna see the fake BS right away with you if you're trying to bring them in and you're not, being genuine, and you're just trying to live off of the name of your school or whatever it may be. You've got to really build that trust with the players early on when you're doing recruiting like that. So I think that's kind of where that background comes into play with Vitello. And I think that's huge. And, as far as, him not earning his way into the majors and only being at the college level, I don't really think the college aspect is going to hurt him bringing in players at all, because you already see, he spent a good amount of time at Tennessee. A lot of his guys have already made the big leagues or in the upper minors, and we're seeing that some in the Giants' own organization. So I don't think that'll come to play at all. And if anything, you see, guys like even Paul Skeens was talking about Vitello and how he thinks the transition will be smooth with him in San Francisco. And you see like that generation of players all coming through the ranks. If anything, you're going to get a lot of young, fresh talent that are going to possibly hit free agency and want to come over and play for a guy like him, because they see how much he genuinely cares about his players and how competitive he is and how thorough he is in his game preparation. So I think those things will go a long way. It might not take place necessarily this offseason, but I would give it another offseason or two before you really start to see a lot of guys really buy into what he's doing and really be intrigued to come to San Francisco.
Yeah, no doubt. I think especially if they go out and they start winning like early in his tenure, whether that's, right out the gate year one, or, they look like they're building towards something in year two, they take a big step or something like that. And I know we all are going to have that expectation. Like, we're all tired of the mediocrity. We want to see them in the playoffs like immediately, but it might not be like an immediate fix. A lot's going to be dependent on the roster they hand him, which right now I think almost everyone here is comfortable in saying it's not good enough. So we'll see how that goes. But I do think if they do start winning early with his personality, I think Ricky's dead on with that. Like, he very well might be one of those guys that a lot of guys really want to go play for. So it could be really interesting. And the other guy I wanted to throw out there, you were talking about Skeens. The other guy that gave him a huge shout out that he coached when he was an assistant a bajillion years ago, Max Scherzer, who's played, 18 years in the major leagues with, I think 7 different franchises, been all over the place with, good franchises, kind of some not great membership or not great, ownership groups, things like that. He's been on all sorts of different teams, and he with all sorts of different coaching staffs, and he feels pretty confident in Vitello being a successful coach or successful manager at the next level. So I think that's a big, that it's not just something you should just brush off. I think when an 18-year vet has confidence in you, that speaks pretty good volumes to me.
Yeah, for sure. Not only, like you mentioned, you got the 18 plus year vets, and you got the younger players been in the league for 1-2 years, and you got, prospects that are working their way up. He's got glowing reviews top to bottom. And yeah, somebody mentioned in the comments section, we were, just talking about how it looks like Manizan played a big role in bringing him in, which I think is absolutely key. Yeah, Bake That Dough said it.
Which shout out Bake That Dough.
Shout out Bake That Dough. So yeah, I think And I think it's so cool though how the three of them are on the same page. Obviously, they knew they know what they want out of their ball club. They got their core, so to speak, as far as a leadership standpoint, locked in, all with the same vision, all in the same, with the same mindset. So I think, I think it's going to be cool, man. It's someone that's unheard of, bringing in a guy straight out of college, but Vitello's he's the man. Like if you're gonna bring in somebody from college, you're gonna bring him in. And just from what few minutes that we heard him speak today, like you've said for weeks now, Cody's like, I want to run through a freaking wall for this guy. And he just gives off that energy, and I think he's gonna click really well. I did also want to point up or bring up two other things the from the press conference today, how they asked two bigger questions that I was wondering about. Firstly, being, the transition of going all the way up to 162 games in a season compared to what it is in college. And he was straight up, he was like, yeah, it's going to be different, but we're all in this together. End of the day, he was like, we're going to win together, we're going to lose together. And we're just going to see how it plays out. And then they asked him about how he's going to click with some more of the like Hispanic and Latino players. And he was straight up and just like, hey, you do this by who you surround yourself as far as a coaching staff that's familiar with that. And you also do it by getting to know the player. And I think that second part of that statement is so true. And that's going to go such a long way. He is a player's coach. He is a player's manager. And he's making it known like, hey, yeah, this is going to be new to me, but I want to go and develop a relationship with my guys, both on the field and off the field. He thinks that is key and crucial to success, both from a chemistry level, from a respect level, but also from a performance level. And it's so true.
And going back to his connections with players, and like I said, and like Cody kind of mentioned with Scherzer, it's not just the younger guys, it's also veteran guys. A guy that didn't even play for him that really likes Vitello too is Bryce Harper, who there's rumors of him being on the trade block. I guess they've rode horses together, and Bryce Harper's just really admired Vitello from his entire time at University of Tennessee. So of course, it's not going to matter if you don't win, but winning also starts with bringing in good players, which is something, as we all know and have all complained about, the Giants have not been good at bringing in good players. Other than, last year bringing in Willie and Devers, I mean, they just haven't been able to bring in hitting. And if you want to get the hitting better, I mean, it definitely would help bringing in some big-time free agents. I mean, that's been the one thing that's really hardcore kept the Giants from, taking that next step over the last couple of years, is just that one big hitter could have really put them, at least into the playoffs for the last few years, kind of like what the Padres have done.
Yeah. I mean, and there's no saying if they didn't have Devers in the first 2.5 months of the season, then maybe they win a couple extra games, even though they did play pretty well for the first part. I mean, it's if they're, and they asked him about the roster, and I don't remember if this was during the press conference or if it might have been after he did a short exclusive with Pavlovich afterward. It might have been during that, but I know they were asking him about the roster a bit, and he did go on about the bullpen and like how important it is to have a reliable bullpen. And you can tell like this guy really wants to have a really strong pitching staff in place, and I think that's where I think Senior asked here, I wonder how much say he'll have in the construction of the team. You heard him, Zach, and Posey all kind of talk about they want to be pulling the rope in the same direction, So I think they all have similar philosophies on how they want the roster constructed. I'm sure he'll have input on specific players that he likes, and just like everything, there's going to be some give and take there. I can't, at the end of the day, it is Buster and Zach's job to put the player, give him these players, and they're probably a lot more, especially a guy like Zach Manassian is probably far more aware and advanced as far as scouting players, especially in the pros, than Tony is, obviously. So I imagine Buster is going to probably rely more on his opinion as far as roster construction goes. But I'm sure there's going to be input there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would say honestly more so when it comes to the draft and stuff like that, because he's going to have such a good insight on not just the the guys as players, but also as human beings, and kind of know character with a lot of these guys because he's been so heavily involved in the recruiting process, and then also just his own guys. I mean, it's just the last handful of years while he's been at Tennessee, they put out tons of high level big league talent out of Tennessee. So I don't see why they wouldn't go to him and just get his opinion, since he's had his own view on these guys up close. It couldn't hurt at all. So
Yeah.
And we already know how much they love Tennessee baseball players the last few years, with how many guys that they've not only drafted but brought in via trade. And it's just this last season.
Yeah,
True.
and he's probably got a pretty large relationship, whether he's recruited guys that went to other SEC schools or even like ACC schools or whatever in that area. I mean, this he talked about how he had recruited Bryce, a couple of years ago before Bryce actually, I think Bryce actually committed to Alabama and then ended up
Yeah.
deciding to go to, sign with the Giants. But um, he's probably recruited a ton of the guys that are, especially the younger guys that are around the league right now. So it'll be really interesting. That's for sure.
I think he definitely, for the reasons you guys described, he makes San Francisco even more of an attractive destination. Because, like you mentioned, you got players as young as Drew Gilbert, Paul Skeens, guys like that who rave about him, and then you got guys as old as Bryce Harper, Max Scherzer who rave about him, and obviously he's got a good reputation with everyone else in between. So whether it's coming up through the draft or whether it's potential free agent targets, I think a combination of having, like we've discussed in the past, an established core as far as the stars you got on the team, plus Posey at the helm, plus Manaea's in with a good reputation, plus now Vitello. I think San Francisco is going to be a very, very attractive destination for years to come.
Absolutely. Another thing that I liked, this was not necessarily from today's video, but I don't know if anybody saw that Drew Gilbert interviewed over with Pavlovich, I think about a week ago or so, right after the news that Tony was coming. And one of the big things that Gilbert brought up as far as like why he actually really liked going to Tennessee is just kind of, we talked about his authenticity and his honesty and all that. And, one of the things that Tony said, I guess, to Gilbert when he asked him about playing time and all that, he's just like, you're going to get what you earn. And, Gilbert flat out came out and said, like, I have a job. I'm trying to win in camp. Like, nothing's going to be given to me. I know a lot of us have like concerns that is he going to play favorites or anything like that. And, at least he's got a reputation with his guys, even the ones that, played for him and had a ton of success for him, that, he's going to play the best players. He's going to put who he thinks has the best chance to help them win games. So I just like hearing that from a guy like Drew, like that's how he was recruiting players.
Yeah, I mean, all players can ultimately ask for is to know what to expect. Everything's clear, straightforward. It's right there for the taking. If you earn it, it's yours. There's no politics or anything else behind the scenes that you have to worry about.
Yeah, and I have no concerns with his communication skills. That I know a lot of players talk about, like that's a big part of pro ball, is because there's so many games, they kind of managing expectations of, we're going to use you in these situations. We're going to use, you're not going to play today, you're going to play tomorrow, or, you'll play today if we see this reliever in these innings, whatever, I have no doubts that he's going to be able to really effectively communicate with the roster and all the expectations for when they think they're going to play, be in the lineup, get used out of the pen, whatever. I think that's going to be a big strength for him.
For sure.
Let's see what else we got in here. Sorry, get rid of a couple of these. Biggest takeaway was relationships. Yeah, we kind of touched on that. has a ton around the game. It seems both. It seems like he has kind of a shocking amount, like in different front offices and things like that. And it shouldn't be that shocking because of how, as Ricky mentioned, how many players have been drafted out of the University of Tennessee. I think he's had like 52 players drafted since he's been at Tennessee. And then we have kind of two people mentioned a couple things here. Let's see. Nick said, I'm really anxious to see what they come up with on the coaching staff. Cole said, WOTUS for bench coach. We'll even add this one. Who are some coaches you could see the Giants bringing to put around Vitello? Yeah, so we kind of touched on a few of these. Last week, Dan and I kind of mentioned 3 names that made a ton of sense for bench coach. The names we kind of came up with, and we'll see if Ricky's got any others that he wants to add in. He was on assignment last week. The 3 that I seem to make a lot of sense would be, potentially Ron WOTUS if he really wants to come back out of his quasi retirement from being on an everyday coaching staff. Brandon Hyde, who interviewed for the manager position as well. And then the guy that I still think is going to be probably the favorite, Jace Tingler, who has a prior relationship, has coached with Vitello in the past, has manager experience, has bench coach experience. That would be who I think is going to, but we'll see what route they go. I do think Posey and Zach are going to have a ton of input there, but we'll see if you guys have any other ideas.
Yeah, I mean, Ron WOTUS is the main one that comes to mind just because of his experience under or with Posey as a player, and then just his ties to the organization and how much they trust him. I honestly think something like that makes sense because I think it might be a situation where his coaching staff isn't really finalized even this season, and where they kind of add on next season as he builds some more relationships. As Nick mentions, Antoine Richardson makes sense because it seems like he's not returning to the Mets at this point. Obviously, he was under Gabe Kapler on that coaching staff with the Giants, but he got a lot of eyes on him this year for turning Juan Soto into a base stealer and really changing the game for the Mets and just stealing bases in general. And that's something, as we all know, the Giants desperately need. Not sure why he wasn't able to do that in San Francisco, but that's a whole nother question.
Yeah, and I want to throw one more shout out to Antoine Richardson as well. Drew Gilbert, who showed up and immediately was the best outfield defender on the Giants. And he flat out credited Richardson with his improvement that he made in his outfield defense this season. His whole routine, I guess, he has that kind of that goofy jump that he does before, as the pitch is being thrown, and he like tries to time it up to where basically like his feet are hitting the ground right as the ball's, either hitting the catcher's mitt or the bat. And he said that was basically all Richardson, and it helped him get a better first step and react better and all that. And I mean, he was easily their best defender at the end of the year. And kind of the elephant in the room really was that he was a way better defender in center field than Lee was. So it was kind of, if he does earn an everyday job, they're going to have to. It'll be interesting to see what they do there. Plug him in right, or if they swap those two. But not to get too far off topic, Richardson was a guy that he credited a ton, and for a team that has really struggled a ton with their outfield defense, bringing him back to help hopefully both the base running and the outfield defense could be a really huge get for this coaching staff.
Yeah, I was just going to say, kind of piggyback off both you guys' points. Richardson seems like a no-brainer, in my opinion. No matter what role you're going to bring him in, because we've seen how abysmal the Giants have been at stealing bases last couple seasons. And the fact that he turned Juan Soto into, how many did he steal? 35 plus?
38 maybe?
Yeah, see?
Almost 40, I know that.
And our team leader was who?
All I know is a guy with the nickname Big Dumper would have led our team in stolen bags this year.
Yeah.
That's all I need to know.
Yeah, see what I mean, man? Yeah, it seems like a no-brainer. If you're able to bring him back, you do it. And then just surrounding yourself with a good coaching staff, man. I mean, we've all talked about it. Cody and I talked about it a little bit in depth last week about, bringing in an experienced bench coach to help balance out the, you know, the rookie year of your manager, so to speak. Just in general, somebody that's new to the show. I mean, being able to balance that out with an experienced bench coach is going to be huge. And then if you can surround it with some guys like an upgraded hitting coach, fingers crossed, no more pat the bat, and a guy like Richardson, you can really be setting up the team for success.
Yeah, I was going to mention the whole Pat Burrell thing. It is kind of interesting because you still have him kind of floating around, and I've seen in some players' social media posts he's still doing some hitting instruction in Arizona down at that complex. So it will be interesting to see now that Tony's officially been announced how much longer Pat hangs around, or maybe he ends up being here for the full season. And like I said, that's where I kind of feel like it's the coaching staff very well might be a work in progress throughout the year into next season, because they might not want, or Tony specifically might not want to do a complete overhaul, not knowing what he already has in house. Obviously, they like JP Martinez. Jury still kind of seems to be out on Pat the Bat. So I feel like that's going to be one of those things we might not see happen this off season specifically.
Yeah, and they mentioned it briefly in the presser today that these coaching conversations have already begun. And he was flat out just saying like, "Hey, I can't tell you whether or not it's going to be a complete overhaul. We're going to keep some guys that were currently on the staff. I can just say, you know, conversations have begun. So I really don't think it'll be long before we start hearing some news about it."
Yeah, I mean, the only thing we know is they're going to have a, you know, who they get rid of. They got rid of their bench coach, and they got rid of, you know, Matt Williams over at third base to go with Melvin. Did anybody else leave with those two? I'm trying to recall if any other coaches.
I believe it was just those two.
Matt Williams. Felt like there was one more, but I don't remember.
Yeah, for some reason I thought it was a third, but maybe I just roped Melvin in with the other two. So yeah, I mean we'll see there. And you know, if they can get, if they can get Richardson in, you know, they could potentially shift Hallberg over to third base, where I didn't really care for Hallberg over at first base, but you know, one thing I will say is in the 4 years that he was the third base coach under Kapler, I don't really feel like I ever had, you know, stretches where I noticed him a significant amount like we had with Williams, where you'd have like 2 months where you're like, what in the hell is he doing over at third base? He's sending dudes like into outs where they're out by 40 feet, and then he's not sending guys where situations dictate it, and you just had no clue. It's like he was flipping a coin in his head every time. And I never had that feeling with Hallberg. So, you know, I feel like that's a spot where the less I notice you, probably the better. So I would have no issue with Hallberg going back over to third base if they could get Richardson. I don't think they need to, you know, I don't think he's a bad coach per se. I obviously he's got a relationship with Buster, so he's probably got a bit of an inside track there to being on the staff in some capacity. As far as, you know, the hitting coach goes, I don't know how they can watch what they've done with Burrell around the last 2 years. And I get it. Veely was still there 2 years ago, and then Burrell's there this year. And you look at teams like Toronto and what they're doing. And I mean, it is like, you're just still discovering fire, and those guys are like building rocket ships. I mean, this offense is completely different. I mean, it's I don't know how you could watch that and want to keep Burrell around. So for me, I'd be looking at trying to steal like one of their assistants to run the show. They've got I think it's Lou Ian, is it Ianoti? I might be butchering the last name. Hunter Mentz is the other assistant under David Popkins. You know, if you can grab one of those guys, I think that would be a good get for this organization. Donnie Ecker is currently available right now. Now, I don't know if Ecker wants to go back to being a hitting coach, if he's going to chase a bench coach job, what his goals are, if you could even get him back here. But, you know, obviously the offense had one of its best years ever under Ecker before he left, and everything kind of fell apart there. So, you know, I think a lot of us would love getting Ecker back in the building.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Yeah, and I think he got kind of a bad rap in Texas because they did really good when he first got there, and then he got kind of blamed for all of their issues at the end. And I mean, they had a little bit of a run after he left, and then they kind of regressed again towards the end of the season. Their offense still wasn't great, so I don't I don't entirely blame their struggles on Ecker in Texas. And you kind of look at some of their guys; they have a handful of guys there that are getting paid way too much money and have outside of their World Series year have mostly really underperformed.
Yeah.
So I would be all for it. I mean, there's really nothing else to compare to in the last, I'd say, 10 years, other than when he was here, as far as them having like actual legitimate above average hitting.
Yeah. I think the elephant in the room with Texas as well is, you look at guys like Corey Seager and Adolis Garcia and Simeon and those guys, and they're all getting up there in age, and they all have some injury histories, and
Yeah.
it's like, this is normal regression. These guys were exiting their primes, and when they finally regressed, and they've all got injury histories, like, I don't know how much you can really fault the hitting coach for that. Like,
Exactly.
sorry, I didn't stretch your prime to 36. Like some of these freak guys, I can still hit as they're getting older. I think, how old is Freddie Freeman now? I swear he's like 34 or something, and he's still
He's got to be
hitting
right
like
around
300
35.
every year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's absurd, but yeah, I think he did get a bad rap. I agree with that.
Yeah, and that's where the difference is. It's all nuance with these things because you look at them versus the Giants situation, and it's like the Giants coaching staff deservedly so got a ton of criticism for the hitting struggles because the big difference is the Giants guys were smack dab in the middle of their primes. Like everybody is like 25 to 30 years old. So what's the excuse? And it's not like everybody was just completely banged up all year. Like they just forgot how to hit for way too long. And it happens every single year. It's just you got to bring in some new eyes other than just, your manager.
I mean, did a single player really exceed expectations offensively on the Giants roster? I mean, some people might argue Casey Schmidt, like they might. And I would just say, I felt like he kind of did what he was showing already in 2024. He just got more of an opportunity. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the year, he was hitting like 237. I think he can keep improving off of that. But I mean, you look around the whole roster and, Fitzgerald regressed. Ramos's power disappeared for months. Devers shows up. He's not hitting, as well as he has in the past in Boston, which a lot of people would blame Oracle Park. And the funny thing was, he hit better at Oracle than he did on the road. Like, his numbers dipped the second he showed up. Adames was at least close to his averages, but obviously he regressed with runners in scoring position. Like, I don't feel like a single player exceeded expectations at the major league level.
Hey, I don't want to be that guy, but I didn't think Bailey would hit over 200. Big fella did it, bro. That's exceeding it for me.
He crept the OPS over 6 too.
Yeah.
I didn't.
We shall call him Little Dumper.
Little Dumper. Fisher Price Dumper. Oh man. That's great. Yeah, hey, this is fair. Christian Koss, he was the one guy I think that showed up and seemed to at least in his career take a pretty good step last season. So we got one.
Going off of Bake That Dough's comment, I do agree with that. That is 100% true. I would just say though, at some point you got to come to grips with the players aren't going to change all at once, but you can change the coaching staff. Ultimately, you got guys locked up, and if the coaching staff isn't getting the most out of them, you got to make a change because, unfortunately, they're the ones making the big money. Yeah, I agree. They need to produce. It's not all on the coaching, but those guys likely aren't going to change. So you got to make something happen to get the most out of the guys. I think it's a little bit of both. I think, yeah, some of it is absolutely on the hitter, and then some of it is on the coaching. I think more than anything, the biggest issue has been approach. Year in and year out, the approach is horrible. And some of it, too, is just the type of guys that they're bringing in. When you guys watch the World Series games and you're watching the Blue Jays, that is the epitome of a team that, you want the Giants to be. A little bit more contact oriented team that does still have the pop. You have these guys like Lukes and Clement and these guys that they're not necessarily great hitters, but they're grinding out at bats and they're not just getting blown away by, middle fastballs with runners on second and third. You see these guys, they're not even squaring balls up, but they're putting it in play enough to get a ball to straightaway center to get a guy in from third with less than 2 outs. And all those little things make such a huge difference when you're a little bit more of a small ball team like the Giants need to be if they want to win games. And unfortunately, when you have guys like Chapman come in and, he's great on defense, but when he's kind of hitting in the middle of your order and he's not able to put the ball in play enough, it really makes it hard when you're trying to play situational baseball when he can't connect with these middle fastballs. It's one of those things you kind of need a little bit of a culture change from the coaching side, and you also need hitters to kind of buy into a little bit different of approach. And we just haven't seen that in a few years. So that's pretty much where I'm at with the hitting side.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm going to add to that. I agree 100% that like we can't place all the blame on the coaching. I think that our big takeaway though is when the entire roster either like barely meets expectations or regresses. There's a deeper problem than just the hitters didn't hit. Like when it's 15 guys or 17 guys or whatever over the course of a season, obviously they have the 13 regulars, but then like guys that are filtering through and like every single guy is either struggling to meet their normal numbers or they're regressing. Like that's a problem that goes beyond just the hitters. So that's where I think we feel like change has got to be, change has to occur on the coaching staff.
One interesting point too that Dan C mentioned as far as Tony being involved with, improving bat speed and using some of the driveline techniques is, I believe Willie was one of those guys where when we were watching him kind of struggle early on in the season, one of the biggest metrics we saw when you look at his like baseball savant page was his bat speed was quite a bit down. And I don't think that really got a ton better until really late into the season. So that would be kind of interesting to see when you're looking at guys like him. Like I mentioned with Chapman, swinging and missing through a lot of fastballs over the heart of the plate. And even Devers, it was super weird when Devers first came over from Boston. You not only saw his approach get a lot worse and him getting way overly aggressive, but you also saw him swinging and missing through a lot of, again, middle fastball. So it would be interesting to see if they look a little bit deeper into the bat speed issue with some of these guys in the middle of the order.
Yeah, I'll take a look at some of the numbers to give you guys here in a moment, but I know off the top of my head, Ramos has also dropped a bit. Adames has dropped, Ramos has dropped. I think Rafi's might be down on the year. I'd have to look into that one, but yeah, there were quite a few guys that their bat speed dropped.
Yeah, it really makes you wonder. So, I mean, like you guys said, hopefully we hear something rather soon when it comes to Pat Burrell and what they're going to do with him. I mean, who knows? Maybe they keep him around one more year, but I think if they do keep him around, they need to bring in a new face to pair with him, kind of like what they did with Veely and then having Burrell in there at the same time. Got to get some kind of a different outlook on hitting there. And I'm sure when Tony looks a little bit deeper into, where the struggles came in at, I'm sure he knows somebody that he would be interested in bringing in to fix the issues that were there last year.
Then just with the staff in general, Hugh kind of brought it up earlier. He says no mention of bringing anyone with him from Tennessee. Thought someone would ask that their strength and conditioning coach have been brought up in the past. Yeah, I mean, we kind of briefly touched on that last week as well. But it definitely wouldn't surprise me if they brought somebody like that. I mean, the Giants have a pretty good, medical staff, and they've got a really good reputation for that. But if you're able to bring in, like a highly regarded strength and conditioning coach, I feel like that would be good. But I definitely think the conversations will occur to see if he knows anybody from his college days that might be able to come up and contribute in some way, shape, or form.
For sure.
Senior softball games has an interesting comment too, saying, think Burrow gets moved down in the system, manager in the minors, maybe. Yeah, I mean, that's possible too. I mean, it's again where it gets kind of tough when someone like Posey's bringing in some of his old buddies to help run the team. I think it's totally possible, Burrow being a local guy and already spending time with some of the minor league guys. That's totally possible too. It's more just a matter of if he'd be willing to take kind of a little bit of a demotion. So, but I could definitely see that happening.
Yeah, the other person that he's done, and this is, they did this with Burrell, bringing him all the way from San Jose to San Francisco. But I would be curious if they want to go that route where they take like somebody that's heavy into the analytics and the bat speed and all that stuff, and then another guy that's like a guy that played that helps with the approach and the mindset, and helping these guys with the day to day. Travis Ishikawa is down in San Jose right now, and he has done a hell of a job with the guys down there. So it would be interesting to see if they could go similar to what they tried to do with Veely and Burl, but maybe get like a couple new faces in there. It would be interesting to see if they would go that route, but just food for thought.
I hope not, Dan. We already have enough pain and suffering.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh man.
I've got the numbers for anybody that's wondering, and I'm only pulling. I'm not going to go team wide because that would take way too long. I took the four main guys, the four main boppers on the Giants here, and all four of them saw a significant drop in bat speed from 2024 to 2025. Adames went from 73.6 to 72.1, which was down 1.5 miles per hour. Ramos went from 75.2 to 74, which is down 1.2 miles per hour. Devers went from 72.5 to 71.6, down 0.9 miles per hour. And then Matt Chapman went from 76.6 to 75, which is down 1.6, which I will throw an asterisk next to Chapman because he did hurt his hand. So there is a possibility that contributed more than anything. But when all four of your power guys' bat speed drops, and the only guy in that group who's getting close to the age where you could say, oh, maybe he's leaving his prime a little bit, so he might slow down, is Chapman, who is just turned 32. Willie Adames is 30. Devers is 28. Ramos is 20. I think he was 25 last season. Those guys should not be dropping that much in one season. So that, I'm sure if I looked at the rest of the roster, I'd see something similar. But yeah, those were the four main guys.
Rob says, is that what Flores' problem was? No, his problem was he just sucks.
Zero bat speed.
Dan just likes to.
Dude, any time I have a chance to shit on Wilmer, I will.
Watch Vitello come out. Watch Vitello come out and say he's like a huge Wilmer Flores fan.
Oh, dude.
I'm like, yeah, we like his leadership. He'll be back.
I'm gonna hang like a days without incident thing that you see places, and they have like the you can tally or whatever. I'm gonna hang one of those right now, like right up here. And it's like days without Dan crapping on Wilmer. Just every week or two, we're just like back to zero.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it, brother. Watch them hire Flores as the running coach. That'd be That'd be something.
I heard Flores is getting hired as the new Freeze.
I can beat him running in reverse, bro.
Except for instead of the contestants getting that like huge head start, Flores gets the head start.
The opposite freeze.
Yeah. Oh man.
All right, Ricky brought up a good point. Whenever you're ready to transition, Cody.
Yeah, let's do it.
Um, so it goes hand in hand with John's post. So we'll circle back to some more questions you guys may have. But
Keep
John,
firing
yeah, keep firing away. But John asked a question, said, "How do we purchase a hat again?" I'm happy to announce that officially live at this moment, at this very second, the Even Your Dynasty Show website is officially launched and open for business and for you guys to view and check out. I worked hard on it for several months. So hopefully you guys enjoy. It's very simplistic to begin with. We have an initial launch as far as the catalog is concerned. Before you check it out, I do want to preface a couple things, though. I crunched numbers as best I can and was sending it over to these guys to make everything as affordable as possible, but while not completely shooting ourselves in the foot. When you guys check everything out, everything is made to order. So it's not like we got hundreds and hundreds of different things that are put off in a warehouse somewhere. We're not that high up yet. But I do have a professional merchandise company that is handling everything directly. Everything is high quality. Everything's pristine. Everything's made to order. The hats, Ricky's wearing one that's going to be for sale. Everything is embroidered and stitched. Hoodies, thick. The print is not going to come off. It is as high quality as possible that I was able to provide and still try to get it at a reasonable price for everyone. So I just want to preface that. Shipping time, you're looking, this is just an estimate. It's most likely going to be a lot quicker, but just to be safe, because we don't know what order is going to look like initially. To begin, I am giving everyone a heads up. It might be 3 to 4 weeks, since that does include getting the materials, making everything to order, to spec, and then shipping everything out. It's going to come in a quality packaging. You're going to get probably some EYDShow stickers, sfgiantscove stickers in there as well, just included for it. But yeah, guys, the website is live. If you guys want to check it out, do not feel obligated to place an order if you do not want to. It is purely just to support the show, and everything that is, every penny that is earned from that goes right back into the quality of videos that we put out. And yeah, man, this is just the start. I mean, I can show you guys. Do you want me to show them, Cody?
Yeah, go for it. Bring it up.
All right.
Let
me show you guys really quick. All right, so this is what you're going to see when you access the home screen. Just a heads up, there is music on it. Shout out Ricky for picking the song. If you don't want to play that, you can just press the little pause button on the bottom left. So initially, when you click on the catalog, you're going to have the 6 forms of merch in which I styled, customized, got the approval from the guys, and that are available on here. Top row is going to have EYDShow. Bottom row is going to have sfgiantscove. You know, you got a couple different colors for certain items. You got the gray hoodies, the black hoodies. Sizes for everything ranges from small to 3X. We can go larger if need be, but that's just, you know, a safe one to put on here to begin with. And yeah, man, I mean, everything's got a product description. There's different images if you want to look through them, if you want to pick out certain colors. You got various forms of checkout methods, man. You got the EYDShow hat, sfgiantscove hats. You got the sfgiantscove hoodie, EYDShow hoodie, shirts. And like I said, pricing, it's literally, Cody and Ricky can attest to it. It's literally as low as I can go while still getting the merchandise guy paid and seeing if there's any meat on the bone to reinvest back into the show. But we did our very best with that. So check it out. Man. But yeah, there's 6 items to begin with, and There are going to be more coming. This is just the initial launch. I'm planning on having another one here in a few weeks with accessories. So, like Harris mentioned, any coffee mugs. Yes, coffee mugs are going to be in the works. Keychains are going to be in the works. Koozies, like some more cheaper items, those will be available. Are the hats fitted? They are not. I'm not going to the extent of fitted hats to begin with. They're all going to have the snaps on the back. So just be aware of that. And yeah, man, just I really appreciate the patience from Cody, from Ricky, from you guys. I spent every bit of free time that I had trying to work on coding and get everything created, get everything coordinated with the merchandise, get everything priced out, get the images generated, you name it. So I hope you guys enjoy. Again, don't feel like you have to place an order, but I just want to be fully transparent on everything that went into creating the website, creating the merch, pricing, etc. So I'll hand it off to you guys.
That's great. Love it, Dan. The other thing I'm going to add in for everybody, the other thing is we did, as we mentioned last couple weeks ago, maybe, we did launch the membership site. One of the perks of that is you get 15% off. So if you, and for anybody that's already joined the membership, if you whenever you are ready to place an order, if you decide you want to do that, reach out to us. We'll get you a code, because all of the codes are going to end up being a one-time use. So just shoot one of us a message. We'll get you guys a code really quickly. If you're in the Discord, you can ask us there. That is we're all pretty responsive in there. So
Yeah,
with the memberships, you are going to get 15% off, which on like the hoodie is like 2.5 months of membership basically on the discount. So just keep that in mind for you guys.
yeah. I wanted to reiterate that point. Let us know if you are a member and you want to obtain your discount code. You're going to get a new one every month. So for each month that you're a member, you also get access to a custom, unique discount code once a month that's exclusive to you and only you. So anytime you want to take advantage of your discount code for however long you are enrolled as a member, just ping one of the three of us on either our socials or the Discord that you'll automatically get invited to, and we will get that code over to you.
Yep.
And yeah, that bridge in the disappearing in the fog video in the back, I was pretty proud of that. I'm not gonna lie. I sent that over to the guys. I was like, dude, I want to do this, and it came out sick.
He's like, I'm working on something. Think original City Connects.
Yeah, I said that quote unquote.
Yeah, everything came out super good. And for any of you guys that follow me on the Instagram page too, if you want quick access to the website and you don't want to have to go search it up, it is in the link in my bio on the Instagram page as well. So if you guys are on there, you can go right in there and go straight into the website as well.
Yeah, Ricky posts a lot of good stuff on his IG, whether it's Giants news, different quote, or different guys talking about the team from outside sources, guys on the team, comments, prospect highlights, player highlights, lineups during the season, you name it. He's got everything there.
Ricky, did you take a look at the product descriptions I made for you for your items?
No, I did not.
Check them out afterwards if you want. I made them kind of lengthy, but
yeah,
oh, shit.
It's a funny story that kind of goes with those. I'll tell you about that later. But yeah, each one has its own unique product description and everything.
It's fun. All right. So if anybody's got any questions on that, shoot us a message. Otherwise, do we have anything we want to chat about for the team the rest of the way here? Anybody has any questions they want to shoot us in the chat, or any topics you guys want to cover, go ahead and fire away.
Feel free to ask away. I'm just checking out the site specs. There's like 8 of you guys in there as we speak, so that's super cool. Yeah. Thanks for checking it out. It says.
Absolutely. Trying to see if I missed any chats in here while we were going earlier.
I don't see any.
Yeah,
Did Dan
we also will be giving away 2 hats at some point too, which are not the ones I'm wearing, but the one that Cody has on and Dan has on right now. These are not ones on the website. These ones came directly from Lids. They're a little bit different style, but we'll be doing those as well in a future giveaway once we decide when that will be. So if you guys want those, you only have one chance probably to get one of those guys.
Yeah, stay tuned for those.
Yeah, we'll probably do that on a upcoming live here pretty soon.
Yeah.
So,
dude, I'm just looking at myself for the first. Why didn't you guys tell me I look super cholo? Like I just noticed myself on here. I'm like, dude, I look like a freaking gangster.
Everything is more modest now ever since you brought the do-rag out.
Dan's trying to be professional.
See, this is me toning it down a notch.
For cholo. Is that like when Luis told you were the one that looked the most enlightened?
Yeah. that made my night.
I barely kept it together.
I saw him. I was like, "¿Cómo estás, compa?" And he was just like, "You're the one who's the most enlightened."
My name is Jeff.
Right, Harris.
That was super fun.
How many games do y'all go to normally in a season? It depends, man. I mean, the 3 of us went. I went to 1 last year, and that was with these guys. But in years past, it depends. Like I think 2016? I was at maybe 2 a week for the entire season, and then I didn't go for like 3 years during the dog years. But I'm trying to go more now. But I'm voting for tank tops once spring and summer come around, Rob.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, last year I only went to 1 for the Giants. That was a game we all went to. But yeah, I went to a couple different AAA games, couple high A games. Next year, because I mean, as a lot of you guys know, I'm up in Washington State, so they'll play in Seattle every other year. So I definitely will be hitting that series. We're going to be going down. We're hoping to go down to Arizona next year, try and catch some of one of those series against the Diamondbacks, plus some complex league action. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like next year I'm going to end up at a bit more, a few more Giants games, and then I'm going to try and definitely get to. I almost every year try and catch at least some of the Sacramento games when they play in Tacoma, and then I'll definitely try and. With some of the relationships we have with some of the guys that are going to be in Eugene next year, I'm for sure going to try and go see some of those guys. I want to go see Brezzy pitch. So I'm going to have to try and figure out a game he's starting, whether that's up in Everett or down in Eugene. Like I'm going to figure out a day that I can get to him and go watch it. Go sit like right behind home plate. I'll go buy like a little radar gun even.
That would be sick.
I'm over under on when Tony gets tossed for the first time. Yeah, I don't think he gets out of April.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I think him and Boone are going to compete for the league lead when it's all said.
I'm hyped to see that, honestly.
Yeah. I need to see him go out to like second base and like pull the base out of the ground and throw it into the stands or something crazy. Yeah. Go like full Lupinella.
Yeah. Let's see. Do we have a favorite college baseball team? I don't really have a favorite in particular. I mean, I'll root for a lot of the local teams there, but I don't have a specific one. I enjoyed watching Tennessee while Vitello was there. I will say that, but I just enjoy watching it. I don't really have any specific college baseball teams.
I don't have like a favorite as a fan, but I went to Liberty, so whenever somebody asks like what's my favorite college team, I just say my alumni school. So I just say Liberty.
The only one I really follow would be Stanford.
It's a good
I've
one.
gone to some games down there, but I follow them, and it's nice because you're at least getting some big league talent. Usually every year they have at least a couple guys. Fortunately, the Giants never really draft them, but they're fun to watch.
Yeah. See,
you guys should have an EYDShow meetup at a game. Yeah, I mean, if enough of you guys want to do something like that, we could definitely arrange that ahead of time. If there's a general time of the season you guys want to do something like that, I'm sure we could make that work.
Just don't ask me to sign your Wilmer Flores jersey. I will refuse. No, you know what? I won't refuse. I will draw something on it, something that I can't say on stream. You can use your imagination.
Dan's gonna channel his inner 15-year-old on your jersey. Oh man, no, that would be cool. Yeah, that's tough. I'll have to coordinate, try and get down there again with you guys, and yeah,
That'd be fun. You get to see the GIF that Ricky made of me. You'll get to see that in person.
Which one?
Or the one that you made from the game.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
You get to see that in person.
Oh man.
Daisy May says our beat writers ask terrible questions. That you just summed up the Giants media team as a whole.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, somebody mentioned earlier they just kept recycling like the same questions, and I was like, "All right, bro, we get it. Like, ask something new." Best ballpark food. What is your guys' favorite thing to get at the game? Honestly, mine's basic, dude. I love Tony's. So, like, I got it when the three of us went to the game. I'll just get a Tony slice of pizza, man. Just get one of those, or just like a side of garlic fries. You can't beat it, bro.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
What do you put?
Yeah. This was live when Wilmer Flores had ice in his veins. Put the team on his back.
I think that tied the game, right?
It did.
It was like a nice home run right down the left field line.
Yeah. Man, favorite ballpark.
And I think Bailey had a triple too in that game off Taylor Rogers.
And Yaz had a walk off, dude. Yeah. I was like, what is this game, bro?
Dan was down bad at the end of the game. Yeah, no. I mean, I always love getting the garlic fries there. A lot of the stuff that I always enjoyed, they got rid of over the years, like the Trace nachos. They had those stands, or I just don't know where they are anymore. Those were always super good. The crab sandwich is great, but I think once it made it to about, what is it, like $24 now? I don't get that anymore. I mean, the Ghirardelli sundaes, you can't really go wrong there. Those are always bomb. I don't know.
I was going to say I'm Mexican. I want to try that new elote dog that they have. I didn't get a chance to when we went. It is risky.
It's going to be really good or it's going to be horrible.
Exactly.
Dan C. I was actually just out there. I went to one of the games, Parks Harbor, hit an oppo shot in the 8th inning to give the Scorpions the lead. Definitely check one out. It's $14 to go in there. You can pretty much sit right next to the players. Got to talk to Maui for a bit after the game. Definitely take advantage of that, though. Parks is hitting really well down there, and then they got a handful of pitchers you could watch too.
Yeah,
got to see a couple of our guys.
You want to give Zach Manazian a shout out from earlier. Somebody had brought it up, but Parks Harbor, that feels like a Manazian guy right there. That feels like, we got some.
Yeah,
interesting backstory on that. So
Yeah.
yeah, he makes some loud contact. He can hit, and yeah, he's a guy to keep an eye on for sure. So he'll probably be in Richmond.
Yeah, I agree with that. He played really nice first base when I was there too. He made 2 diving stops that saved base hits as well. So really solid all around player. And like I heard last year during the season in Eugene, he was pulling a lot of the younger guys aside, a lot of those guys that didn't play college ball, and kind of working with them on their approach and different things with their swing, and was really kind of just taking guys under his wing. So I heard a lot of good things about him last year when they made the trade.
Yeah. Oh, and since Ricky wants to be humble, why don't you tell them who you just happened to watch the game with, Ricky?
Oh, yeah. Dan would like to hear this. So I was at the Fall League game, and I sat originally at the end of the Giants dugout at Scottsdale Stadium, and then I moved so I could get a little bit closer to where the Giants guys were, because like I said, I was trying to talk to Maui, and I sit down to a guy with a 916 Sacramento River Cats hat, and I'm like, this guy looks familiar. Ended up being one of their draft picks. He's a catcher in the organization. He was with San Jose last year. And I started talking to him, and he's telling me he's a player. And then I realized who it was. His name's Fernando Gonzalez, if anybody knows who that is. And then he gets on the phone with somebody, and he's saying something. And then next thing I know, I look up, and Randy Rodriguez walks right in front of me and sits down in between us. So that was interesting. Got to talk to Randy Rodriguez for a little bit. Had a massive elbow brace on. But he seems to be in good spirits, seems to be doing well. He's super positive about everything and how his recovery is going so far. So that was super cool to see.
Yeah, so you just happened to watch a game with Randy Rodriguez and then hang out with Howie Ahuna after. So no biggie, though. That's Ricky for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. But I don't think I have anything else unless you guys have any last minute comments.
I'll throw a shout out to one other guy. I kind of brought him up maybe last week or a couple of weeks ago. People were asking us about the Fall League because we did mention Parks Harbor's having a really good Fall League. I want to give another shout out to Juan Sanchez, who did not play at all this season. Had I'm going to guess either an elbow or shoulder injury, because you look at the timetable for like when he went out, I think around June of 2024, and he did not pitch at all last season, or I guess I should say this past season, and they just had him playing in the Fall League, and he is off to a really nice start so far, or at least he had been when I last checked about 2 or 3 days ago. I don't know if he's pitched since then, but yeah, he's been off to a really good start. He's a lefty guy to keep an eye on for a possible bullpen role next season, in my opinion. Has quite a bit of experience already in AAA. Had a really strong spring training 2 spring trainings ago where a lot of people thought he might make the roster out of spring. So keep an eye on him as well.
For sure.
All right. Well, I think that's all we got for this week. It's gonna, when we come back on next week, World Series will be over. I think the off season officially starts. What is it? 5 days after the end of the World Series. Is that when the timeline is? So, we can all just hope that the World Series ends tomorrow. If it doesn't end tomorrow, it'll end Saturday, one way or the other, good, bad, or indifferent.
Fingers crossed, bro. It ends tomorrow. I want to. I've been so good on X for months now. I need to just cause freaking chaos on there.
Dan's like SpongeBob with the water.
Bro, I've gone maybe 2 months without getting blocked by somebody.
I'm going to make it an Elmo gif, except for I'm going to put Dan's face on Elmo, the Elmo with the cocaine. And it's going to be like trolling on X or whatever.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh man.
Somebody's gonna be watching this and purposely go and block you just to troll.
Wouldn't surprise me, dude. For a little bit, every time I'd log on and just scroll through Giants X, I'm like, oh, I'm blocked by this person. I don't even know who that is.
I've never
It may
talked to you
be
in
me.
my life.
Literally.
That's awesome.
Whatever though. Need it to end tomorrow. So
Yep. Agreed.
everyone hope that Toronto pulls it off.
Yeah. Let's all root for Toronto. Yeah. We'll hopefully, you know, if they go down tomorrow, I think the off season will be officially underway come next Friday when we go live again. So
yeah.
And actually, even if it goes to Saturday, it'll be 5 days. I think we'll be officially in the off season. So we are going to start dropping some off season content. Hope everybody we're going to do, you know, I think somebody requested we do a video talking about some of the Japanese players. I'm going to also there's somebody coming out of Korea. He's not a Korean player, but somebody that came from the and pitched in the majors, went to Korea. That's Cody Ponce. He'll be on that list as well as a potential Giants target. I'm going to talk about kind of the top 4 that are coming over from Japan, though, and then I'll also talk about him. So that's a video I'm hoping to have done next week. Then we're going to start talking, you know, it'll be the offseason. We'll start jumping in on the different targets for the team. I think we'll probably do our offseason predictions. We'll do that. I've done that one solo in the past, but I think maybe we'll do that on, you know, one of our live shows here instead, and we can also do the giveaway. So maybe that's a good one we could try and do next week. But yeah, we've got a lot that we're planning on doing in the coming weeks. I know Dan's been talking about doing card openings soon-ish, so we'll see when he'll be ready to do that with you guys. But hey, your eye looks good. I didn't even think about it.
Did you see me put eye drops in earlier?
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about it. I was ready for Pirate Dan to make an appearance today.
Yeah. Luckily I got some Mexican medicine and it worked.
There you go.
But no, it's doing better. My left eye, dude, it was swollen shut for like 3-4 days.
Dude, you're not supposed to put Vicks Vapor Rub on your eye, bro.
the Vaporo. But no, I am my focus was to get this site up and running. So now that's done and over with, I'm gonna go buy some packs and we'll rip them on the membership site here pretty soon. And then also we got 2 interviews locked in November, guys. So I can announce those. It's already confirmed. We're gonna have Shane Rademacher. I think that's how you say his name, Rademacher. And Darian Smith. So both of them are going to be interviews here in November. So keep an eye out for that. They're super cool guys, so it'll be fun.
And we've got a few more that we're working on. One of which I'm still waiting on confirmation if he's going to be in San Francisco for the camp they do over there. Because the info I've received, I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. So we might be waiting a couple weeks on that one, but. Yeah, we've got a lot of guys that we're going to be trying to bring on here soon. A couple guys that we're working on rescheduling that we were originally going to have, and some things came up. So yeah, keep your guys' eyes posted for that. But I think that's all we got for this week. Thank you guys for all joining. If you don't already, please do slap the like, hit that subscribe, all that good stuff. Share it with your friends. You know, all that. We're gonna. I don't know what our goal is gonna be for this off season, but it'd be cool if we can get up to like 3,000 by the end of the year or by the start of next season. So that'd be pretty fun. And we've got a lot of fun content though coming. So everybody have a safe Halloween tomorrow. I hope the weather's gonna be good down there for you guys because I think we're gonna get rained on while we try and do some trick or treating with the little one.
Perfect over here, bro. We can't complain.
Yeah. That's what I get, when you guys got dumped on like a week or 2 ago, and I'm sitting here going, it's 80.
I was checking in, make sure Ricky didn't get swept out.
I didn't get dumped on. Well, maybe a while back, but I was just in Arizona when it was raining out here.
Oh, yeah, I was on a freaking monsoon, so.
Yeah. All right. Well, have a good Halloween, everybody. Stay safe, and we will catch you next time.